this web tutorial, we're going to be working with C#'s arithmetic operators, tab ordering, and formatting capabilities. Course documents, let's go down to week 5. And you can see there's a bunch of topics that you will be covering: arithmetic, casting, coding style, C# string, and formatting. But here's really where I want to draw your attention. We're going to bring this down to your computer so you can work with it. Right click it, say Save As, and I'm going to put it to My Documents, Visual Studio 2012 Projects, and click Save. My download manager has indicated it is there. I right click, Open Containing Folder, and I right click and I say Extract Here. It shows up right here. See O5 circle, O5 circle. You're looking for the solution file. If it doesn't show the .sln, hover on it and it will say solution, or you should see the type. I double click there and opens up the Visual Studio environment. I click on the form and you will see the form comes up. And let's look at certain properties that should be set for the form. We click here. Notice it should have a proper FRM prefix. The name is there. We can set the accept button. The accept button is if the user hits the enter key on the form, which button should be invoked, and I choose button calculate. I'm going to scroll down a little more. And the cancel button is if the user hits the escape key, it will invoke the button exit. We also set the center of the screen as the start position, and that should do it for our forms. Let's go up here and let's look at the radius. Notice it's grayed out and it should be read-only, which it is. I'm going to show you how to set multiple properties at the same time. Notice I clicked on this one first, then I held down the control button and keep holding it down as I clicked on these two. And that allows me to set 3 properties at once. So one of the first things I'm going to do is click on Read Only Property Set to True. I'm also going to change the text align to right, because when you're dealing with numbers, it should be right aligned. And the other thing I want to draw your attention to is turning the tab stop to false. When a text box is read only, there's no need to stop on it. Let's tab right over it. Notice I was able to set all similar properties, read only, text align, and tab stop to false when I have these multiple selected. When I let up on the control key and just click on diameter, you can see I set its text align to right and its tab index is to 1, and I'll show you that in a minute. Notice we have hotkeys on the clear button, and a hotkey is coded by just putting an ampersand in front of the letter. In front of the letter, you want the hotkey to work. So for example, the ampersand's in front of the L. If I hold down when the program is running Alt-L, it will act the same way as if I clicked on it. And you'll notice the X, I put an ampersand in front of the X, so when the program's running and I hold down the Alt and the X, it will act as a click. Let's go look at the calculate button. Or before we do that, let's look at the exit button. Notice that we have application.exit. On the button clear click, we set the text diameter to clear, contents, the radius to clear, the text circumference to clear, text area to clear, and we set the focus in the text diameter. The focus is a method and it causes the cursor to be placed in it. Let's go take a look at the button calculate. You could also get there by going back to the form and double clicking here. Now, I've mentioned in previous documents that whenever you're coding a calculate button this semester, it's pretty easy. You declare your variables up front, you convert the data from the text box you need, you do some sort of calculations, and then you show the output. Okay, let's look here. We have a float for f diameter, and we default or set its initial value to 0.0f. That is called initialization. The reason we put an f there is if I take the f out, C# will get confused and not know, is it a double, a decimal, or float. So we're telling C# to treat the 0.0 like a float because we're assigning it to a float. We have radius, circumference, and area. Notice we put the f in front, and that is a Hungarian notation prefix. F's are for float. I could also have typed FLT. And notice down here, pi is a float. We name it FPI and has a value of 3.14. This whole program is going to take the input of a diameter, and we take whatever the user entered, convert it to a single, because remember from the conversion exercises, a float uses the two-single conversion method. Take the text and convert it to a number. The next calculation we're going to do, or the first calculation we're actually going to do in the calculate area, is take the diameter that the user had entered in the text box that was converted to a number and divide it by 2. That's the symbol for division, just like in Excel, and puts it in radius. The circumference of a circle is computed by taking the diameter and multiplying it by pi. So whatever the user entered, for example 8 would be in here, multiplied by 3.14 and put the answer into circumference. And how we code the area of a circle is the radius times pi. So we take the diameter, divide by 2, and it's stored here. Whatever the calculated value, so for example if you put in 8, the radius would be 4. 4 times 4 times pi. And the area is put into radius. Now we're in the home stretch. All we have to do is show the output to the user. We just have to show the radius, the circumference, and the area. So we ask C# to take whatever value is in the radius, convert it to a string, and you may wonder what this double quote N2 double quote. This is what we call a string. We're saying convert the numeric radius to a string, treat it as a number, and round to 2 decimal positions. We do the same thing for the circumference. Take the value that's in circumference, convert it to a string, treat it as a number, and round to 2 decimal positions. And right here we do text area dot text. Take the area that was computed up here, convert it to a string, treat it as a number, and put in 2 decimal positions. Let's run this program by coming up here. I'm going to put in 8, and notice when I hit tab, it jumps from here down to here. No need to stop on these output only text boxes, and how we accomplish that is by setting the read only property to true. So we click calculate. The radius is the diameter divided by 2. The circumference is, as you can see right here, the diameter times pi is put in circumference, and this piece of code puts the value here. The area is computed by taking the radius times pi. And notice we have parentheses here to cause this to happen first before multiplying by pi. Remember our law of precedence, or precedence of operators, which is also in Blackboard. So this piece of code calculates F area, and this code puts the F area to a string and puts it here. Let's make the number very large so you can see what a comma might look like. So let's put in a circumference of 800. Let's hit calculate. Notice the N2 here, here, and here takes it and treats it as a number, 2 decimal positions, and the N also means put thousand separators. That's why we get 2, 51200, 502, 400.00. And the reason I had a float is because I anticipated that someone would have a circle with a diameter of 7.5. So let's calculate that. And notice we round, because of the 2, to 2 decimal positions. We hit the clear. Notice it clears this text box, this text box, this text box, this text box, and puts the cursor here. I'm going to exit the program, and I have a couple ways I can do that. I can go debug, stop running. I can hit the exit button. I can hit the escape button. I can close this X. I can also hit the Alt key, and notice how the underscore comes on the X, and I can close the program down. What I'm going to do is have a quick reviewer, not a crash, but a quick reviewer on how to use the debugger. Notice on debug, you can do F9 or click into the gutter, and debug lets you see what's happening with the code. So I'm going to go click right about here. See, red means when the program's running, it will stop and let me watch what it's executing. I hit start. Let's put in a relatively large number of 800.5. Then we hit calculate. Notice the code's going to stop right here. And this lets me hover. I hover my cursor and it says the diameter is 0, the radius is 0. And if I hit debug F10 to step over the code, I can watch it execute in front of me. So right now, right before the line's executed, it's going to take what's in the diameter and divide it by 2 and put it into radius. And it took whatever was in diameter, 800.5, divided by 2, and that's where you get 400.25. We take pi, the value, 3.14, multiply by the diameter. See the 800.5? That was converted from text. See, right here in text, you see the quotes around it? Then after the conversion, it's treated as a number with no quotes around it. And right now, that line hasn't executed, but I do an F10 and I go back, and there's the value. Radius times pi is the area. And notice we take the radius, 400.25, convert it to a string, treat it as a number with 2 decimal positions, rounding. There's the code. And I hit F5 to continue, or F10, and there you go. I'm going to show you one last thing. Is if I wanted to, and see it's still running debug, so just do continue, and we're done. This is an important piece of information you got to remember. If you want to get to where the project's saved, make sure you hit Save All. Don't hit these two. Hit Save All. Come over here, right-click, Open Folder in File Explorer, and this brings me to where the project is. But you must go up one level. Click here. You can right-click. You can zip it. Send to, compressed, and I'm going to come down here, and you can see it just zipped it.